you need to know if the room is square.
Process of how you square up a room. Okay, so in this video, I'm gonna go through the process of how you square up a room. You have to know which walls are square with which walls. A laser square is gonna make it a lot easier. But if you don't have a laser square, this is how you can do it using a 3, 4, 5 triangle. Find my longest wall and the wall that's going to have, that needs to have a decent sized tile on it because it's going to be like a focal point, or it's going to be very visible, or it's going to be an area where you're going to see all the time. I'm going to pick that wall, and then I am going to see how the other walls, how square they are in relation to that wall.
To lay out this tile, you need to know if the room is square or not. So how do you do that? So this is my longest wall. That's my longest wall. So I made a line on the floor here, parallel to this wall here. So I know I'm straight with that curb. Then I measured from this curb, from this line to that wall and to that wall, and it's exactly parallel. So what that means is this wall and this wall are straight. Then what did I do? Now I got to square up the room to see if the room is square. So I know I'm going to go off this line here, this line here. So I squared off another line off here. Okay, so just to be perfectly clear on how you get the 3, 4, 5 triangle. So let's pretend this was the curve that you've seen in the video. So what I did was I measured off this wall, in this case the curb. I measured off a certain distance from here. Say that's 6 inches, and I measured off here, say that's 6 inches, and I drew a line. So this is my line here, right here. So now I want to get a line square to this line here. So how do I do that? Because if I just draw a line, well, I got the grid here, so it's easy. But if I didn't have a grid, how do I get my square line? So what I do is, from this point here, I measure, let's just call these feet, I know it's centimeters in this case. I'm just going to measure 4 feet, and I'm going to measure over here. I'm purposely not doing it on a grid line, just so you see. So I'm going to measure 3 feet there, I'm going to measure 3 feet here, and then I'm going to draw just a short line. So I know that this is 4 feet, and I know this is 3 feet. So so I can draw this other line here, I need to find where 5 feet intersects this line. So from there, 5 feet intersects that line right here. So I connect this line, and now I know this line is square with this line here, and you check that that should be exactly 5. So to double check it, what you can do is you can go 3 here, 4 here. This shadow is not helping. 4 here. And that should also be 5. And that is exactly 5. So I know this line and this line is square. And then I measure to all the surrounding walls, and I know what's square and what is not square. So how do you do that? Well, if you've got a laser square, which I do have, it's easy. But if you don't have one, It's not as hot as you think it might be. So what you do is you measure. You do it like a 3, 4, 5 triangle. So 3, 4, and then that should be 5. So what I did was I measured 4 feet from here to here, and then I got an approximate 3 feet off that line to here. And then I used my tape measure and I measured 5 feet from this side of the to this side. So that's exactly 5 feet. So I know these two lines are square. So 3 feet, 4 feet, and then this is 5 feet, 3, 4, 5. And that could be any multiple of if you've got a big room, you can do 8 feet, 6 feet, and then the hypotenuse should be 10 feet. So any multiple. If you've got a small room, you can do 24 inches, 18 inches, and then that should be 30 inches. So any multiple of 3, 4, 5. The hypotenuse is the longest. So that's how you square off a room. And to double check, 3 feet on this side to this line, 4 feet to here, and then I measured the 5 feet, and it's exactly square. So now I know that this wall is parallel to that wall, and I know this line, the marker line, is parallel to, square to this line, so I know I'm exactly square. So now I measured from this line to the wall, and I measured from this line over here to the wall again, and this wall is about a 1/4 inch off, which isn't bad. And then I measured from this line to that wall, and then from this line to that wall, and it's exactly 9 feet. Exactly 9 feet. So what that tells me is this wall, and that wall are perfectly square, very close. This wall here, the outside wall, is a little bit off. So because it's only like a 1/4 inch, you're not even going to see it. There's going to be a toilet here. It's going to, this is in and out here, and there's going to be a vanity over here. So what that means is now that I know that if I go straight off that line, all my cuts on this side will be all the same, or square. All my cuts on this line will be square. It's going to be covered by the vanity. And this side here will be a little bit off. So that's how you square off a room. This is a small room. If you've got a bigger room, then obviously you're going to have to throw down some more lines. To recap, measure from that wall out to whatever distance you want, and do the same exact distance and draw a line. Get a square line off here. You get to get a square line off here. So you're going to go 4 feet from here to here. If you've got a framing square, you got something that's going to help. But I didn't have anything in this room, so I just had my tape measure. So I measured 4 feet from here to here. Then I measured from 3 feet from here to here, and just drew a line. Then I measured where 5 feet intersects from that point to this point where it intersects with this line. If I connect that point where I measured the 4 feet to this point, I'm going to have a square line and go straight across. And then to double check, I measured 3 feet, 4 feet, and again it gave me 5 feet. So I know that that's perfectly square. And that's how you can square off a room. So I know that wall is parallel to that wall because the measuring from here to this line is the same both in that corner and in that corner. I know that this wall is a little bit off because the measurement from this line to this wall is a 1/4 inch difference than from this side of the line to that side. So I know this is a little bit off. It's 9 feet exactly from there to there, and 9 feet exactly from there to there. So I know 1, 2, 3 walls are square, and that one's a little bit, and that one's a little bit off.
Always leave links in the description.